and you can write out that fraction 5/8. So if you have a calculator, you can type this in your calculator, 5 divided by 8, and you'll get your answer, which is 0.625. However, on your state test, there is a portion of the state test where you don't have access to a calculator. Okay, Levi. So if you don't have a calculator, you would need to do this in long division like this. However, we do not have time for that today. I'm going to make a video on long division and put it in our announcements for our math class. So if you don't know how to do long division, you can look there later today and there'll be a video on long division. Okay, so the answer for this question is 0.625. Yes, Wesley, all your answers will be highlighted on here. It doesn't really matter because we're going to work them out anyways. Okay, any questions about this problem? That one's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. All right, let's go to question number 2. Question number 2 is just a true or false question, and it's asking you, is the number below repeating or not? What do y'all think, even though the answer's there? Yep, it is false. Why? What tells you that this is repeating? Anybody know? What tells
I
you?
remember that whenever you told us about the
Oh, Billy, your mic went off.
It unmuted.
Go ahead, Bella.
but the 3 digits behind it, if there is 3 digits or more, and if it is rounded up, that also means that it is a repeating number. But
So
the line
yeah,
that
that's what we're looking
is
for.
over that 1, so that means that it's not a repeating number.
So the line that's over this 5 tells us that the 5 is repeating. So really, this decimal is 0.34555555555555. So anytime you see a line over a digit, that tells you something is repeating. Okay, the digit underneath the line is repeating. So false, because this is a repeating decimal. All right, let's look at number 3. It says, on a cold day, the temperature in a certain city changed negative 34.8 degrees or 0.08 degrees over 4.8 hours. What was the average change in temperature per hour? Enter your answer as a decimal. Does anybody know how we would find the answer to this problem? What would we do to solve? Aiden says no, he does not know. Well, that's not helpful, Aiden. Not multiply. Yeah, Wesley's right. We're going to divide. So you're going to divide negative 34.08 divided by the amount of hours, because you want to know per hour. And that was over 4.8 hours. So when you divide those two numbers, a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and that would be 7.1. So on your paper, you need to write everything that I wrote in blue. So we're dividing here. And don't forget that negative, because they tried to trick you here with the answers. One of them is the Two of them are the exact same. One of them just has a negative. All right, any questions on that problem? All right, then we will move on. This is going to be number 4. Y'all, Ryan is down bad. It says Ryan has a bank account balance of negative 19.43. That means he's in debt $19.43. As soon as he realizes this, he deposits $36.40 into the account so that it doesn't overdraw his account. What is Ryan's bank account balance after the deposit is made? So we want to add these two together. However, they have different signs. So what does that tell us to do? Add or subtract when the signs are different? Good, Bentley.
I'm not playing.
Oh, Crimson, your mic's on. Subtract. Very good. So when we subtract, we put the larger number on top, which is 36.40. And then line our decimals up. We've got 19.43 on the bottom. And we're subtracting. If you have 0, can you take 3 away? No. So we've got to do what?
Take away from the next door neighbor.
Very good. We've got to borrow. So we cross out this 4. It becomes a 3. Give that 1 to the 0, making it a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. And then again, if we have 3, we know we can't take 4 away from that. So we need to borrow again. 6 becomes a 5, giving the 1 to the 3, making it a 13. What's 13 minus 4? Very good. 9. Bring the decimal down. We can't take 9 away from 5, so we borrow again, making that a 2 and this a 15. What is 9 minus 15? Good, Dakota. 6. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. And then we check the sign of our larger number. Our larger number was 36. It was positive, so our answer stays positive. Correct answer is 16.97. Ryan is out of debt. He's got $16, almost $17. And y'all, if I go too fast and you don't get something on one of these slides, this session is recorded, so you can just go back to the about 20 minutes after class has ended. Just click back on the class, and the recording will be there. And hopefully Ryan still lives with his parents. All right, let's do number 5. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. When I first did this problem, when I was working them out, I got it wrong. We're not going to talk about it, but I sure did. Who's Ryan? From the problem, Layla. So this says, what is the value of this expression when m equals 2 and n equals 3? So when y'all see a problem like this, you need to plug these numbers in for these letters in this expression. So let's rewrite the problem with those in there. So we've got -4. All right, y'all chill out in the chat box. You're distracting my brain. And m equals 2. So we'll put that in. Plus n, which is 3, close parentheses, and put our exponent. So who remembers what is the mnemonic to help us remember the order of operations? Do y'all remember what that's called?
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally and PEMDAS.
Very good. So PEMDAS. So just make a little note on your paper that this problem, you follow the order of operations. So if we're following order of operations, what comes first? What do we need to do first? What's that P stand for? Parentheses. So we've got 2 plus 3 inside the parentheses. So that's what we're going to do first. I don't know how to spell it. You could have just put P. So 2 plus 3 is what? Very good. 5. We keep that inside the parentheses and copy the rest of our problem. So we can go up here and mark out the P. We don't have any more parentheses. What comes next? What does that E stand for?
Exponent.
Very good. And our exponent here is 2. And exponents tell you how many times to multiply this number by itself. So we're going to multiply 5 times 5. Good, Wesley. And that gives us 25. So we'll put that in our problem. We got -4 times 25 because it's in parentheses. Aiden, don't do that. All right. What is negative times a positive? Gives you a what? Very good. A negative times a positive is a negative. And what is 4 times 25? Very good. 100. So the answer here is -100. Give y'all a second to copy that down. Good, Hayden. Wesley, you are fast. I love it. Dakota. Dakota, not Dakota, Crimson, I heard him when your mic came on earlier. All right, let's move on to number 6. Looks like this. It says, which expression is equivalent to 10x minus 6? So there's something called the commutative property, which tells you that you can keep the numbers. So like this is a positive 10x and this is a negative 6, and just swap them. Swap the order that they're listed in. So if you swap the order, it would be -6 plus 10x because that 10x is positive. So that's where that answer comes from. That one's pretty simple. Any questions about that? Any questions? No questions. Okay, let's go to number 7 then. Looks like this. I'm going to rewrite the problem over here so we can see it bigger. That says 20x plus 15 plus 10x minus 25. Now, our question says, combine the like terms to simplify the expression. Somebody tell me in the chat box, what does it mean when it says like terms? Yeah, Bella, give me just a second. What does it mean when it says like terms? Similar in some way. Yep, cadence, variable, and constant are the 2 types. So variable terms are the ones that have a variable attached to them. So it has a letter. So that's going to be 20x and 10x. The constant terms do not have a variable. So that's going to be positive 15 and negative 25. So how I like to do it is I rewrite the problems and then I use arrows to combine the like terms. So this one and this one are alike. So I'm going to put the answer right there. And then this one and this one are alike. And I'm going to put that answer right here. Combine the 2 numbers with letters. Yes, and also the 2 numbers without letters. Those are also like terms. So if I combine 20x plus 10x, what will I get? 30x. Very good. And then if I combine positive 15 and negative 25, what would I get? Very good. Negative 10. So we're going to write minus 10. And that's where your answer comes from. Any questions on that problem? And y'all, these questions are just like your questions on the test. Oh, Bella, sorry. I forgot I was going to let you help on that problem. I forgot. All right, about 10 seconds, and we're going to move on to number 8. All right, let's look at number 8. It says simplify the expression using the distributive property. Sorry, y'all, I'm writing down something. Somebody give me a thumbs down. Who was it? How do you even give me a thumbs down? Like just on your camera? Huh. Well, fine. Thumbs down to you too. Whoever gave me a thumbs down. And I can do it on my camera. Y'all watch this. It does it. Pops it up. Boom. You see the little bubble? That's what you get. Okay, let's use the distributive property. So let's rewrite our problem. 5x minus 8. And the distributive property means that you distribute the number that's outside to everything that's inside. So 10 times 5x and also 10 times negative 8. So what is 10 times 5x? Somebody tell me. 50x. Yup. And then what is 10 times negative 8? Almost, Bella. You're missing something. There we go, Hayden. Negative 80. So minus 80. That's where your answer comes from. Right there. So anytime you see the words distributive property, remember you're going to see something inside of a parentheses and something on the outside of the parentheses that needs to be distributed to what's inside. Any questions before we move on to number 9? We got 2 more problems. No questions. All right. Number 9 looks like this. Let me get my pen back. How can this expression be written another way? We've got 112 plus 28m. It says factor. I'm going to underline the important parts. Factor using the distributive property and the greatest common factor. So the distributive property should tell you what we just did on our last problem is how this one's going to look. Okay. So we're going to factor out the greatest common factor. What is the greatest common factor for the numbers 112 and 28? Do y'all know? Gus, y'all hear my dog snoring? My God. Crazy. The greatest common factor is 28 because you can divide 112 evenly by 28. So we're going to factor out 28. That means that's going to go on the outside of our parentheses. Okay. If I factor out, aka divide 112 by 28, what do I get? Four. Good, Cadence. So that's what's going to go first. Plus, if I factor out 28 from 28, I'm just left with what? Yeah, I'm just left with m. And I close the parentheses. That's where that answer came from. So remember, when it says factor out, you're dividing by the greatest common factor. All right, any questions on that problem? We got one more. Landon, everything. Quite literally the whole class. Yeah, you'll be able to watch the recording. All right, last problem. This would be number 10. It says, which expression represents how many days are in X weeks? So on this one, I want you to make a note, and I'm going to type it because I don't feel like writing all of that. I want you to write, we know that there are 7 days in a week. When the number of weeks is unknown, we can use X as a placeholder. Okay. So that's what they did right here with 7x. They put 7 because there are 7 days in a week. And remember, X, if it's right beside the 7, that means multiplication. And so you would just plug in the number of weeks for this X. So for example, if there were 3 weeks, you would do 7 times 3.